Okay, so today we're setting up on a little stretch of stream here, setting for some beavers and maybe some otters too, if we get lucky here. We're in a spot that doesn't have a ton of sign. We may catch 1 or 2 beavers here, and that'll probably be about all she's good for. But I'm going to show you guys how to set up for this, and how to set it up to where hopefully you can catch beavers and otters both when you set up at a place here. When I look for beavers, I look for 4 things. I look for a food cache, which we don't have here. It's basically just a big brush pile in the water. If you find that, that's right where their den hole is. I look for feed beds. So I look for places where they've been sitting there eating sticks. That's what this is right here. They've been sitting here just eating, chewing these sticks in the same spot every time. That's a good spot. I look for places on the bank where they're sitting there eating the sticks. And then I look for dams, which is what we have right here. Not much of a dam, it's pretty much washed out. In fact, we kind of helped them with this dam to give us a little more depth in the water here. So we're going to show you how to set this up here. I'm going to start by throwing in a caster mound right here, because it's right in the middle of everything. I've got a feed bait here. I've got spots where they're chewing on sticks here and across the bank. I've got their dam. It's just a good spot. So I'm going to set this up here and show you guys how we do that real quick. And then we'll move on and show you some other spots that on down here that will be good for beavers and otters. Number 3 double long spring. Before I set the trap, I just want my slide to sit right on top of the stake here. I got my man here, he's going to drag that out for me. Deep water. If you throw that in, you want your slide to sit right on top of the stake because it'll move your trap quite a bit. I've got a channel sitting here. This is where we want the beaver to come in, right here. I've made kind of a fake slide. And so for our trap, what we're going to do is just kind of offset it just a little bit there. And trap set. And then we'll find just a few sticks for fencing here. They don't have to be nothing fancy. Shiny sticks. We may have a hard time getting these in because this ground's frozen. But I'm gonna stick the unchewed end down in here because I don't want him coming in there and trying to eat that while I'm getting him in there. Just a little guiding, kind of tell that beaver where we want him to go. That's it. Good enough. Okay, so the trap's set. And then for the mound, we'll just kind of put in a mound here. We just use whatever's available here. Just pull some stuff out of the water, some leaves, sticks, mud, moss, just whatever's there. It ain't gotta be nothing fancy, just like a 12-inch pile of stuff here. Yeah, that's good. Just something visual for them. That's good enough. You see that there? We're just gonna stick that right in front of the trap there. Believe it or not, most of the time that's the way it's gonna look when a beaver makes it. And so we'll just kind of dip some little lure down in here, and you know, I use like a little bean-sized glob. And we'll smear it on that mound there, and that's good enough. That trap's set. We'll move on down the stream here, and the next spot we're going to put this in is a little pinch point down through here. You can kind of see right here where this dam crosses over. There's a pretty tight little channel here. And so we'll throw in a caster mound, or I'm not sorry, not a caster mound, a 330. And what that 330 is going to do is anything that pinches through this narrow little point right here should hit that. So we'll set up here. Andy, my man's going to throw this one in, and The way we're going to do this, if you can kind of see where that swift water's hitting that brush right there on the edge, we're banking on those animals coming through right there. And it's kind of nice because they're already used to swimming underneath that brush and everything. That's kind of hazardous working in swift water here, you know, that if debris washes through there, it can collapse that trap on you, no problem. So you got to be careful when you do stuff like this. We're setting this up kind of the traditional way. You can use H-stands to stabilize your trap if you want to. We're just going to use a little rebar and just some natural chewed sticks right here to hold our trap up for us. And then what we're doing is we're going to fence that off just a little bit here on the shallow side. You know, we're going to make sure if a critter comes through here that a little gentle persuasion to make them go through the trap. Awesome. Some guys would put one over the top of that. That's exactly what Andy's doing here. They'll see that stick over the top of that trap. That's called a dive stick. They'll see that stick and go right underneath it and then right through the trap. And we're throwing in another pinch point right here. This is just down from the dam up there. The reason we're focusing so much on these pinch points is because it really narrows down where the critter has the option to travel. And this is where you're going to catch a lot of your beavers, a lot of your otters if they're traveling through. These pinch points are some of the best spots, and you can kind of see right here, this is a little bit wide for a pinch point. We'll have to do a little bit of fencing. But, you know, that's okay. You know, we're going to kind of guide this animal where we want him to be. But these pinch points are really good because it really narrows down to where the animal's traveling. So that's the reason we use these so much. We've got two of them here. We've got one right here where this trap's going. It's a little wider. And then right here in front of me where they're coming around this little dip. We'll be throwing another one in. There's a nice little channel that just runs through right here, and we're going to cover that with a conibear as well. And if any beavers or otters come through here, they'll be getting caught. So that's pretty cool. This spot here, we're going to have to do a lot of fencing, and that's okay. You know, you're going to hit some spots where you're going to have to do quite a bit, and some spots you can pretty much just set the trap and run. These sticks are going through the springs to hold the trap up here. Excuse me. This fast current's pretty nice too. That animal comes through here. They're pretty well going to be dedicated to running through this trap. You know, they're not going to try to turn around in midstream. The only option they'll have if they don't want to go through the trap is to try to go around it. That doesn't usually happen. A beaver won't do that usually. An otter might. Very good. That pretty much covers the whole channel there, so you know that thing's fenced up good. And if you have an abundance of white sticks, those are a little better. Sometimes usually in swift water, they're not going to try to come across here and eat this in the swift water. But that trap's set, and we may throw one in right here in this little channel. But this little hole's caught. If I get time before it gets too dark, I want to show you an otter toilet. There's an otter toilet down this channel a couple hundred yards. And that's why we're focusing so much on these pinch points here. We found a real nice channel right here that's pretty tight. I don't think they're going to have many options to go around this conibear here. This will take very, very little fencing to cover this in. Maybe just a smidge on that far side over there. But you know, this is about the only channel going through here, and they don't really have many choices but to just go through the trap right here. I don't think they're going to come around this side very much. But if they do, they're going to get caught. I think a lot of them are going to come through, you know, right through here to get up to these sticks over here. There's quite a few chewed up sticks on the bank over there. So, good location here. We're going to finish this up here and